Nobel laureate and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel once stated, "The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference." And this perfectly encapsulates the state of our society in recent decades. Greetings, esteemed classmates. There's a disturbing lack of moral empathy and responsibility among people as we move towards a society that prioritizes individual gain over the well-being of a collective. We are increasingly divided by our social and economic positions, and this alarming trajectory is becoming even more firmly entrenched. The seismic shift in respect and empathy has been brought about by the distortion of violence and sex in the media, the glorification of harmful stereotypes, and the global critical thinking crisis. We have a solemn obligation to assume responsibility for the current global dilemma before we descend into a world that is devoid of basic human decency. Firstly, violence and sex are actively being warped in the media. The normalization of violence is tragically apparent as the number of hate crimes and shootings skyrocket. According to sources, 693 mass shootings occurred in 2021 in the USA, officially making it the deadliest on record. Furthermore, in 2023, the US Justice Bureau confirmed 14,416 victims of hate crimes. Given the pervasive violence that defines our world today, the future feels not just uncertain, but profoundly unsettling. Similarly, pornography is a damaging force that significantly contributes to the sexualization of women. Objectifying a minority that has fought tooth and nail for basic human rights highlights the erosion of respect between people. In fact, music and film industries dangerously associate violence and sex within the same context and desensitizes people to the real harm of both. By blurring these lines, we are not just undoing all the progress we have fought so hard to achieve, but dishonoring the sacrifices of those who fought for it. Additionally, society glorifies and perpetuates harmful stereotypes. This divide is encouraged and fueled by global conflict and political issues. The media strategically crafts the narrative, us versus them, with people hold differing views, driving a wedge between segments of the population. Furthermore, discriminatory behaviors are normalized in our society. Issues such as xenophobia and racial profiling dehumanize minorities by separating the individual and their culture through racist lens. As a direct result of this mentality, minorities are marginalized. In the instance of the Rwandan genocide, an approximate of 800,000 to 1 million Tutsi people were massacred. They were referred to as cockroaches by the Hutu extremists as a means to justify these war atrocities. Discriminatory behavior is normalized in our society. Consequently, the three stages I just outlined, classification, discrimination, and dehumanization, perfectly align with the early stages of genocide, underscoring how our society is devolving into one that is devoid of empathy and dangerously progressing. Lastly, there is the issue of the global critical thinking crisis. Government corruption plays an integral role in exacerbating this issue. The recent inauguration of a man with 34 convicted felony counts and the continual leadership of Putin, who is accused of numerous human rights violations, only begins to encompass the current crisis that is ongoing in some of the most powerful governments in the world right now. Similarly, the issue of global centrism continues to hinder meaningful discussions on global topics. By solely acknowledging Western values in conversations that concern worldly matters, we dismiss cultures that are crucial to consider. This can be seen in numerous cases when lands have been colonized. Centennial Regional High School itself is situated on the unceded territory of the Mohawk people. Global centrism diminishes our ability to think rationally, promotes a one-dimensional mindset, and exposes our ignorance. Lastly, social media has completely transformed politics, leading to far-reaching adverse effects. Not everything posted online is reliable, and this opens the door to manipulation through media sources. On platforms that connect people worldwide, spreading false information is dangerous and contributes to the global critical thinking crisis. To conclude, while some minor improvements have been made in recent decades, it is not nearly enough to reverse the disastrous path our society is heading down. The distortion of violence and sex in the media, the glorification of harmful stereotypes, and the global critical thinking crisis are all contributing factors to the erosion of basic human decency. I beg the question, can we afford to let the future generations inherit a world that has been stripped of every shred of empathy, kindness, and respect? Thank you.